What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with one of my more discussion-based videos. And I've done videos on this topic before, videos that I firmly believe in, videos that I agree with this topic that we're going to get into. Superhero fatigue. I don't believe it exists. I believe that we have a time where bad storytelling fatigue is going on. Stuff fatigue is going on. And people want to sit down and watch something good. James Gunn has come out and basically sided with that exact same plot. And I agree. Now, James Gunn, you got a lot. You got to live up to a lot right here. But hey, James Gunn explains why superhero fatigue exists. If it becomes just a bunch of nonsense on screen, it gets really boring. So, to be fair, he didn't quite agree with the idea of superhero fatigue. He agreed with the idea of bad storytelling fatigue and just bad CGI fatigue and that nature when you go through his comments here, and we'll get into it. Speaking with Rolling Stone about the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 film, Gunn was seemingly asked about the recent box office failures of Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and whether superhero fatigue played into it. He told the outlet, "I think there is such a thing as superhero fatigue. However," he then reasserted, "I think it doesn't have anything to do with superheroes." Now, what he's getting more into a semantic argument here. Bad storytelling fatigue is what he's pointing out. It's not, hey, we're getting tired of superhero movies. We're getting tired of crappy movies. We're getting tired of stuff movies. We're getting tired of CGI gobbledygook all thrown out at our face. We're getting tired of MODOK's butt. We're getting tired of graphics that look worse than Pong. That's what we're getting tired of. What we want is a good story. And to show this, I actually have some proof. My Hero Academia, Japanese manga. I know this came out on February 4th, but this is big at 85 million copies worldwide. This manga keeps selling. This manga is very popular. This manga still is continuing, even though it's coming to its end. I think it still has some time to go, but when we get there, we get there. What is this manga about? It's about superheroes. It's about a young boy getting superpowers and rising up in the ranks of the superheroes. His quest to be the #1 superhero, with quirks and everything like that. This is a very popular anime. This is a very popular manga. People love this story, love young Midoriya, love everything about it. And guess what this story is? This story is Japan basically writing a love letter to American superheroes and doing it better than America. That's the sad part in this story, because their main hero, All Might, has attacks based on America, has aspects based on American superheroes, kind of like Superman. This was a love letter to the West, and they doing superheroes better than us. So no, superhero fatigue isn't a thing. Along with that, and this is a while back, The Boys. I didn't like season 2 and I didn't like season 3. Well, I didn't watch season 3. I had no interest. But The Boys is still doing really well. People like The Boys. The Boys is superhero stuff. Guess what? The Boys is doing really well. Man, shocker. Shocker how The Boys is doing fantastic. My Hero Academia is doing fantastic. You know what else is doing fantastic? You know what else was breaking records? And I should have pulled it up. Invincible. Invincible was also doing really well. What is Invincible? Invincible's a superhero story. Story about a young superhero. It's very violent, very graphic. I have volume 1 right over there. There's 3 volumes. Wonderful story. Wonderful story. I need to get back into reading it and getting all of them. But I like those stories. Those stories are doing well. Yeah, there's bad Superman stuff, but everything. People want good storytelling. That's what it breaks down to. And that's what James Gunn even says. Gunn then explained it has to do with the kind of stories that get to be told. And if you lose your eye on the ball, which is character, on the ball, which is character. We love Superman. We love Batman. We love Iron Man because they are these incredible characters that we have in our hearts. And if it becomes just a bunch of nonsense on screen, it gets really boring. He continued, but I get fatigued by most spectacle films, by the grind of not having any emotionally grounded story. It doesn't have anything to do with whether they're superhero movies or not. Exactly. That's what he's getting at. It's these movie spectacles that don't have any heart anymore, that don't have any feeling. Why did Guardians of the Galaxy work? These were B, C, D rated heroes that James Gunn took and made it work because they are character driven, because you know these characters, because they have relatable aspects of each one, and people like that. Granted, it did coincide with the downfall of Marvel, but what he's saying has proof. Like, you need some grounded aspects to these stories. You can't all be, we're protecting the universe from collapsing, we're protecting the timeline from collapsing. You have to have your street level guys. You have to have your Daredevils. You have to have your Luke Cages. You got to have those guys running around New York or California saving the day. You have to have Batman saving the day. You can't always be at these epic grand scales. You got to have some grounded. You got to be able to relate to these characters and to connect with these characters when they're simply just saving the city from not even saving the city, saving Hell's Kitchen from a mob boss of sorts. Right here. Gunn then asserted, if you don't have a story at the base of it, just watching things bash each other, no matter how clever those bashing moments are, no matter how clever the design and the VFX are, it just gets fatiguing. And I think that's very, very true. Real. Now, you gotta give some pushback, because Godzilla is ultimately just watching a bunch of CGI things bash each other over the head, and people like that. But that's what they're buying a ticket to go watch. When it comes to these superhero stories, though, they want a narrative. You want a through line. You don't want ideology, crappy CGI, crappy CGI, no real story. You want something that's able to be followed, makes sense, has a good story that falls into makes sense, and characters that are relatable. You don't want just to be thrown in and have Thor come up to Captain Marvel and say, I like this one. No, you want to decide whether you like this one or not. You don't want to be told to like these characters. To this point, Gunn noted that he believes Marvel films doing well at the box office helps DC films. And this gets into a weird thing where he basically tries to start saying that, if DC does well, Marvel does well. If Marvel does well, DC does well. And in reality, don't know. Because at this point in time, Marvel's not going to do well anytime soon. I honestly don't have any faith in DC anymore, especially after that Blue Beetle trailer. Jesus Christ. I'm looking on to greener pastures. I'm looking on to My Hero Academia. I'm looking on to Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's done. The manga. Anime's coming out. I'm hyped for that. I'm looking forward to the next season of not G Gundam, but Gundam. Witch from Mercury. These are stories that are doing better than Western entertainment right now. Why is that? Because they have good stories. They're over the top craziness, but they have good stories that have heart, have characters that you can relate with, that keep busting stuff out. Gundam's been going on for years. Don't see Gundam fatigue. Now, there's some bad Gundam stories. There's some bad Gundam animes. There's some really bad Gundam stuff. But guess what? Been going on for years, and people still watch it. People still interact with it, and people still relate with it. So we're not dealing with superhero fatigue. We're dealing with bad storytelling fatigue. And I've said this time and time again already. But let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out with friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.